Hey there. So I did a thing last week and I want to tell you all about it shortly. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Hey there, beloveds. Welcome to my channel. I'm excited to have you here to join me in this video. And I'm excited because I am definitely in a space and in a place where I'm ready to share consistent content with you all because I am on a journey to healing. I'm on a journey to wholeness and to all things new. All right. And so I am new to this, and so many of you are new to me, and so I wanted to take a moment just to again welcome you to my channel, and then also encourage you and ask you to make sure that you like, comment, and share, and also click on that notification button so that we can stay connected, and so that you can know when I am going to share new content with you all. Okay, so now let's get into the nitty-gritty of why I am here, why I'm starting this particular channel, and why I'm sharing my journey with you. Typically, I use social media for business, and I'm familiar with how to use content or share content on YouTube. But again, most of it's unlisted. A lot of it's private because I just use it for business purposes. However, I was led to share my personal journey with you all and share a little bit about why I have chosen to start seeing a therapist. Yep, that's what I did. I started last week in seeing a therapist, and I'm pretty excited about it because the first session was amazing, and it is definitely going to be a great journey. It's going to be a great journey. So why am I sharing this with each of you, right? So a lot of you may say, okay, so what's the big deal, what's the point? Well, a couple of weeks ago, well, actually a little bit longer than that, a couple of months ago, my father a few months ago was diagnosed with lung cancer, right? And so he was diagnosed with lung cancer, and we have already gone through a journey of supporting him through chronic illness, which I'll get more into it another time. But this particular time around with the lung cancer diagnosis was it was difficult, and it was challenging for me as his caregiver, or one of his caregivers. And so I was sharing, just being vulnerable and sharing, just how challenging it has been to be a caregiver, to watch, someone that you love go through, transitions and not feel well, and not, be themselves in a sense. And how also, you start to even sometimes lose yourself in the process, or you find yourself experiencing what I experience in what's called compassion fatigue. And so many people were blessed by my transparency. I decided that I was going to share my experience, and not just the experience from being a caregiver, but also share my experience about being a African American woman, 43 years of age, single or divorced, and single again, right? Who's navigating this new phase of life as a full-time entrepreneur, as a caregiver of one of her aging parents, and as someone who's still trying to find her way and find her bearings, right? I wanted to just share my process. I wanted to share my journey with you, and want to talk about particularly the challenges of caregiving, right? And the challenges of being a full-time entrepreneur, the challenges of relationship struggles, and wanting to be married again and dating. And so I just wanted to just share my journey with you in hopes that it will help someone else and bless somebody else's life. And more specifically, because I'm a believer, I love God, I have a relationship with God, and I believe that part of my purpose on this earth is to help other people find their purpose, but then also find a closer connection and relationship with God. Then if this is the way that I get to do it, then what better way to do it than just sharing my life and sharing my journey with those of you who are watching. So as I stated before, I decided that now was the time to start seeing a therapist. And part of the reason why I got to this point is I decided that I needed support. I needed help. And although I have a loving family, I have supportive friends, I felt like I needed someone who doesn't know me, who doesn't know my story, who's not going to always say all the right things, who I could just be candid and authentic and just share my truth with, and wouldn't feel judged and wouldn't feel as if they are just saying all the right things, to help me and appease me in the moment, right? Because we do have people who don't always know what to say. They don't always know what to do or how to help you, right? And so I felt like I needed to see a therapist to just share my personal struggles. And one of the struggles, if I'm just honest with you and candid, if you will, one of those struggles happened to be my relationship with my father, and the unhealed wounds from our past. I have what I guess some would say daddy issues, and part of my daddy issues began very young, early teenage years, when my parents decided to divorce. And so my father and my mother, they decided to divorce, and at the age of 13, I guess, or so, my father left the home, and that was that, So although I know who my father is, he's always been a part of my life. I've always been aware of who he is. I don't really feel like I got to know him, or he got to know me. I don't feel like, although he was present in my life, or I would just say accounted for, and I knew who he wasn't present in my life. He wasn't consistent in our life. He was like, many people from my neighborhood that I knew, growing up, struggled with alcoholism and identity issues. And so although I knew him, he was still very absent. And that was even when he was living in the home with us. And then later on, after they divorced, he got into another relationship, and that relationship and decisions he made about that relationship put some additional strain on our relationship, and essentially I felt abandoned by my father. So just fast forwarding, long story short, and I talk about this, you guys, as far as, in my book. I have a book, it's called While I Wait, and I talk about this, and and talk about my story in my book, because I feel like my daddy issues led to my mindset and perspective about marriage, and ultimately I ended up married right out of college, and all that good stuff, and I ended up getting a divorce, and that divorce really is what shifted me and catapulted me. The pain that I experienced catapulted me into my purpose, right? I'll tell you all about that in another video. But to get back to why I'm seeing a therapist, the relationship and the strain, the broken relationship and the strain from my teenage years with my father, because I never really took the time to fully heal. Like, I've had my experiences with God. I established a relationship with God, and I began to pray and fast, and I learned how to use all of these belief systems, in a sense, and apply them to my life in a way that it would help me to heal, and it would help me begin the healing process. But I never really dealt with the abandonment issues and the resentment that I had begun to have towards my father. All right, I'm back. So, I never really dealt with it. And so now here I am, 43 years of age. I've gone through so many things in my life. I've experienced so much loss in my life, from the abandonment from my father to eventually, my divorce with my ex-husband. I've experienced 2 miscarriages. And so I've gone through a great deal of loss, and I've experienced a series of relationships that didn't work out, and how I have, in some sense, drawn people to me who have similar issues or struggles and unresolved trauma, if you will. And so I started to see a pattern, and I started to, just get to a point where I felt like, I needed more. I needed more, and I deserve more for myself. I deserve to really be healed and whole. And so in order for me to receive the promises of the Lord, in order for me to receive all that God has for me, I knew that I had to finish the healing process, so that I could really reach complete wholeness for myself. And so that's why I started to see a therapist. And so over the next few videos, as I begin to just release content, whatever it is that God lays on my heart to share about my journey, I want to do that, and I want to do that with you. And my hopes from doing this and from being transparent and sharing my story is really to hopefully and prayerfully help someone else. Maybe you are an entrepreneur, or a boss lady or a leader in your own right, and you're in a place where you're tired, right? You're tired of always putting the needs of everybody else ahead of your own. Maybe that's where you are, and maybe you need to be healed and to be whole. Maybe you're struggling with a divorce, or just gotten out of a marriage, and you're trying to find yourself again. You're trying to find your way or your purpose. Maybe you are you have an aging parent right now, and maybe you don't have unresolved issues with them, and you had a great relationship, but maybe you're struggling with compassion fatigue, much like me. That's my purpose. That's my reason for doing this. And even if you have a desire to start a business, or even if you have a desire to align faith and business, I want to share that with you as well. And so, again, that's my purpose for sharing this. That's my purpose for starting this journey of healing and wholeness. I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about my first session. First of all, my purpose for doing this was because I wanted to feel heard, right? Because a lot of times we go through circumstances in our lives where we feel invisible and we feel like people don't hear us and we feel misunderstood. And so I wanted an opportunity to have my feelings validated, to feel heard, to be able to release, tears, if you will, and not feel like I'm making people uncomfortable, and I want clarity, about how I am doing myself a disservice and areas in my life where I need to grow. And so that's my whole purpose of doing this. And so on the first session, my therapist was able to identify the core areas that I needed help with, and that is to feel heard, to feel because I feel undervalued, and to release resentment that I have been kind of carrying with me for a long time. And so those are the core areas that we're going to be working on. And my first homework assignment was to write a letter to my dad. And y'all, I haven't even started. It's Tuesday, and I'm supposed to go back and have another therapy appointment with my therapist on Thursday. And so today I'm going to be working on at least starting that letter to my dad, because there is a lot of things that I didn't tell him, I haven't shared with him, about my life and how his absence has affected me and impacted me. And so another thing that I learned that I want to share with you is that your healing and forgiveness is really not about the other person. It's about you. It's about getting what you need. It's about being able to fill your cup back up, right? It's about being able to release and let go of some things for me, so that God can refill me and rebuild me and restore me. If you're carrying resentment and you're carrying unforgiveness and you're carrying all these things in your heart, right? You don't have room for love. You don't have room for restoration. You don't have room for the new things that God has for you. And as one of my great friends today, Marcel McManus, stated in a live that he shared, he says we have to be willing to let go of the old things, let go of the old baggage, let go of old people, people that, may not have been meant for us, or things that we need to let go and release so that we can make room for the new. I was so blessed by that message today, and I believe that's the journey that I'm on. I am learning to let go and release some things so that God can refill me and restore me with all things new. All right. So if I were to title this particular video, it would be ready to receive all things new. Right? Ready to receive all things new. So that's it. Once again, if this was helpful and if you want to continue on my journey with me, please do so. Don't forget, like, comment, and share. If this is something that you can relate to, or if anything that I've said resonates with you, please comment. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you have any videos that you want me to share, or content you want me to share, or anything like that. Just put it in the comments and I'll respond back to you, and I'll be happy to share whatever information that I can with you moving forward. But next video, I'm probably going to share myself writing the letter to my dad, right? So if you want to stay connected, please hit that notification bell and come back and join me the next time around, okay? God bless. God keep you. See you later. Bye-bye.